You've probably heard it your whole life. Owning your home is the ultimate goal. It's the dream, the reward for years of hard work. That white picket fence, mortgage-free lifestyle, and the sense of pride that comes with it. It's deeply ingrained in how we think about success. So, why are so many millionaires over 50 selling their homes and choosing to rent instead? At first glance, it doesn't make sense. They've made it. They can afford to own anything they want. So why walk away from something everyone else is chasing? It's not a trend. It's not a whim. It's a smart, strategic decision, one that reflects a shift in how the wealthy think about money, freedom, and happiness later in life. And if you're around that age, or even if you're just thinking about your future, it's worth understanding why this is happening. Because this mindset shift, it might just change your life. Let's dive into the 5 powerful reasons millionaires are ditching homeownership and renting instead. Stick around to the end, because the 5th one might be the most surprising and the most important for your quality of life. Let's start with something most people don't like talking about. 1. Owning a home is a financial drain, and no one tells you that. You've been told it's an investment, but when you actually run the numbers, it's more like a money pit with good PR. Here's the thing. Paying off your mortgage feels like the finish line, but it's not. It's more like mile 13 of a marathon. Because the real costs of owning a home don't stop when the mortgage ends. In fact, for many, they start there. Property taxes keep rising. Maintenance becomes constant, especially if you've owned the home for 20 or 30 years. Roofs leak, appliances break, plumbing goes haywire, the HVAC needs replacing. And those costs? They don't come at convenient times. Even insurance premiums can spike, especially if you live somewhere with wildfires, floods, or storms. And remodeling? Forget it. That kitchen from 1996 isn't charming anymore, unless you're going for vintage irony. Now imagine you're 60. Do you really want to spend your weekend negotiating with a contractor over grout color? Or worrying about who's going to trim the trees before the next storm? Wealthy people understand something key. Time is more valuable than money. And energy? Even more so. That's why they start looking at their homes not as assets, but as liabilities. That realization is the first domino. Once they see that, everything else starts to fall into place. 2. Your money is trapped, and it's not doing anything for you. Let's say you own a $1 million home. It's completely paid off. Sounds great, right? But here's the problem. That $1 million is just sitting there. It's not growing. It's not earning. It's not helping you enjoy your life. It's stuck in bricks and drywall and a zip code. Now picture this. What if you sold that house and invested that money in a mix of stocks, bonds, or dividend-generating assets? Even with a modest 5% annual return, you're looking at $50,000 a year. That's over $4,000 a month coming in passively. That money could cover rent in a beautiful luxury apartment, or pay for travel, or help your grandkids with college, or cover top-tier healthcare. And if you don't need it, you reinvest it and grow even more. The rich understand that liquidity, being able to access and use your money, is powerful. It gives you choices, it gives you flexibility, and it gives you freedom. Tying up your wealth in a home that doesn't generate income? That's like parking a Ferrari in a garage and never driving it. It might look good, but it's not doing anything. 3. Renting gives you the one thing money can't buy: freedom. If you're in your 30s or 40s, settling down feels like the right thing to do. You want a stable environment for your kids. You want to build roots. Maybe even build equity. But after 50, that changes. The kids are grown. Maybe they've moved across the country. Maybe they've moved abroad. Maybe your priorities have shifted entirely. You start craving experiences, not things. You want to spend time where your grandkids live. You want to escape harsh winters or scorching summers. You want to chase sunsets instead of deadlines. Owning a home locks you in. Renting unlocks your options. You can live in New York in the fall, Florida in the winter, and Europe in the summer, if that's what you want. Or maybe you just want to try a new city every few years and see what life has to offer. When you rent, you don't have to worry about selling or maintaining a property when you want to make a move. You just go. That freedom is priceless, and that's exactly why so many wealthy individuals choose to rent. It's not about giving up something. It's about opening up to something bigger. 4. Owning makes estate planning harder and taxes worse. Here's a topic nobody loves talking about. What happens when you're no longer around? If you own a home, especially a valuable one, it can make things really complicated for your family. In many states, your property has to go through probate. That's legal speak for slow, expensive, and stressful. Add in potential capital gains taxes, inheritance disputes, maintenance costs, and disagreements between siblings, and it can become a full-on nightmare. Imagine this. One of your kids wants to keep the house. The other wants to sell it. Neither wants to deal with taxes or repairs. And suddenly, that home you loved so much becomes a burden they didn't ask for. Wealthy people think ahead. They plan. They simplify. By selling their property while they're alive, they unlock the value, structure their finances smartly, and make things easier for their families. They put their assets into investment accounts, trusts, or liquid portfolios that are easier to divide, transfer, and protect. No court battles, no tax drama, just peace of mind. This isn't just smart financial planning. It's a gift. It's a way of saying, I've taken care of it, so you don't have to. 5. Renting upgrades your lifestyle in ways you didn't expect. This is the part that no one talks about, but it might be the most important. When you rent in your later years, especially if you've built wealth, you're not downgrading, you're upgrading. Luxury rentals today aren't what they used to be. We're talking concierge services, on-site fitness centers, saunas, rooftop lounges, private theaters, security, housekeeping, maintenance you don't have to lift a finger for. Want something fixed? It's done by Tuesday. Want to move in and have everything modern, efficient, and beautiful? That's standard now. You're not spending weekends mowing the lawn. You're not worrying about replacing a broken dishwasher. You're actually living and enjoying the life you've worked so hard for. And more importantly, you're surrounded by a community of people who chose the same. You'll meet others who value experiences, freedom, and living fully, not just maintaining square footage. Millionaires rent not because they need to save money, but because it gives them access to a lifestyle that prioritizes joy. A life with more sunsets, more laughter, more travel, more being, and less fixing. So let's take a step back. Owning a home isn't bad. For many, it's a milestone worth celebrating. But for the growing number of wealthy people over 50 who are selling their homes and choosing to rent, it's not about abandoning a dream. It's about upgrading to a new one. They've realized something powerful, that the things we were taught to chase, status, ownership, square footage, aren't what bring the most happiness later in life. Instead, it's about freedom, flexibility, liquidity, simplicity, and most of all, time. Time to travel, time to connect, time to enjoy. So if you've ever looked at your home and thought, is this still working for me? You're not alone. And maybe, just maybe, the smartest financial move you can make next isn't buying a bigger place. It's cashing out, letting go, and choosing a lifestyle that gives you more of what matters most. Because at the end of the day, it's not about owning the most. It's about living the best. Now here's something else most people don't consider. Renting doesn't just give you flexibility. It gives you mental clarity. Ask anyone who's owned a home for decades. Even if they love it, there's always a mental checklist running in the background. The leaking faucet, the weeds in the yard, the next property tax bill, the "we should really redo the bathroom" conversation that's been going on for 6 years. It's always something. But when you rent, that mental load disappears. You're no longer the manager of a mini real estate business. You're just living. You spend less time thinking about things and more time doing the things you care about. And isn't that the goal? To wake up each day without a to-do list filled with maintenance, bills, and stress? To feel light, mobile, and in control of your time? That's what the wealthy are choosing now, not because they need to, but because they can. So maybe it's time to stop asking, why would a millionaire rent? And start asking, why not? If renting gives you freedom, cash flow, peace of mind, and a better life, isn't that worth considering? Because success isn't about what you own. It's about how you live. And that's the real dream. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe. We share financial strategies, mindset shifts, and practical tips for building wealth, without the fluff. And if this sparked a new perspective, let us know in the comments. Would you ever consider selling your home to rent? We'd love to hear your story. See you in the next one.